Hey guys, Blake here with another video, and today I want to talk about a fish that I've recently acquired but I've had a fair bit of success with, and one that I think has a really interesting story. So let's jump straight into the video. So in this tank right here we have the purple spotted gudgeon, and I've got a pair of them, and if you're familiar with peacock gudgeons, they're going to be quite a bit bigger than those. So the purple spotted gudgeon has the Latin name Mergurna, and they're from South Australia, the southern purple spotted gudgeon that is. I touched on earlier that they're a bit bigger than their relative, the peacock gudgeon. These guys grow up to about 5.5 inches or 14 centimeters in length, and they are actually banned to collect from the wild. So purple spotted gudgeons are basically endangered or extinct in the wild in Australia. So the story with the purple spotted gudgeon is actually between 1970 and 2004, they were believed to be extinct in the wild until a discovery was made. So after 34 years of believing that this fish was lost to the world, it was then discovered in a wetlands area that was set to basically be destroyed. So a few people collected them up and started breeding them in dams and in captivity, and now there's quite a captive bred population. So although in the wild they're critically endangered in the three states that they exist in, South Australia, Victoria and New South Wales, they are available within the hobby, and they are pretty easy to keep and pretty easy to breed. Like most gudgeons, they are prolific jumpers, so you're going to want to keep a really tight lid on the aquarium you choose to keep them in. They prefer slow moving water with plenty of plants, caves and other hides that they can feel comfortable with and able to retreat within at a moment's notice. That said, they are an outgoing fish and they're not going to be hiding from you all the time. In fact, you'll actually find that often they'll be right up the front of the aquarium ready to greet you, hoping that you've got some food to feed them. They are a predator, meaning that they like high protein foods. So things like frozen bloodworms, brine shrimp and things like that are going to be a really great treat for these guys, but they will readily take to prepared food such as pellets and flake. In terms of water conditions, they weren't basically on the brink of extinction due to their hardiness. They're quite a hardy fish, and they'll accept pHs within the range of 7 to 7.5 and temperatures between 15.5 and 23 degrees Celsius, which is approximately 60 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. When choosing a tank size for these guys, aim for about the 40-gallon size or a 3-foot tank, and you should suit them pretty well. And being that bit of a larger fish, they do have quite a big mouth, so be cautious when selecting tank mates. In this case, I've got them housed with some Golden Wonder Panchax, and because they primarily inhabit the top of the water column and the gudgeons primarily inhabit the bottom of the aquarium, I find them to be a pretty good pairing. Any sort of larger fish that are going to be fairly peaceful will be a great pairing for these guys. I'd suggest things like rainbow fish, angelfish, of course Panchax are a great one, larger Corydoras and many other fish, but just be careful with smaller tetras, rasboras and other things that might find their way onto the dinner plate. It's really difficult to sex males and females in the purple spotted gudgeon, so if you see them at the store, hopefully they're in a bunch, and I would just suggest select the largest one and the smallest one, cross your fingers and hope for the best. That's actually what I did in my case here, and I've been pretty lucky, and they've actually spawned twice for me so far. They do spawn on flat surfaces, rocks, tank glass and other things like that. And you will find that the males are fairly protective and will fan the eggs and make sure that they are viable and hatch, at which point they'll pretty much leave the fry alone. I haven't found them to be huge predators on their own fry. They seem to sort of really just leave them to their own devices. They also didn't huddle them up all into the one corner. Perhaps that's because I kept them in a species-only tank. Another thing I was worried about, and the reason that I pulled these guys out away from the fry, is because sometimes with fish, on the second spawning they actually eat the fry from the first spawning to enable to basically protect the smaller fry, which seems counterintuitive, I know, but is a trait that has been developed over years and years. However, in my case, before I had even taken the parents out, they had laid a second batch of eggs already and they hadn't eaten up the previous fry. So it's possible that you can have multiple generations within the one aquarium, although I was already in the midst of catching them out before I could say this for sure. Overall, a really rewarding, chunkier sort of fish that's going to be a really nice addition to the bottom of your aquarium. One that is really rewarding to breed, has a unique story, and is fairly hardy and easy to keep. I would certainly recommend picking up the purple spotted gudgeon if you're ever lucky enough to come by them. Other than that, hopefully you enjoyed this video and found it to be insightful. If you did, it always helps me out to smash like, hit subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Other than that, I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.